All right. All right. What is going on, everybody, on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you all with another live stream. Hopefully, you guys are having a great start to your week so far. If you don't know who I am, most of you do by now, but if you don't know who I am, of course, my name is Griffin Thomas. I'm the owner of the company Preferred Pest Management. We've been in business now for about 3 years, coming up on 3 years pretty quickly here in about 2.5 to 3 months. And on this channel, I just kind of document my pest control journey through the pest control industry, as well as just my, quote unquote entrepreneurial journey. That's the fancy word that everybody's throwing around nowadays, right? And not just that, but my financial freedom journey. We actually just posted a video a few hours ago about that. How I went from just dead broke, almost borderline being evicted out of my first apartment, to now running a six-figure pest control company. We're approaching, what are we approaching right now? Close to, if things go how they're going right now, probably over $200,000. Our third full year in business. I'll definitely, let you guys know those updated numbers. If you've seen, my video for last year's numbers, you'll know that that's almost a double in terms of sales year over year. And with that, I'll just kind of get right into the whole point of tonight's, live stream. I almost wanted to title it like an emergency stream, but it wasn't like an emergency or anything like that. Before I do that, I just want to make sure that we're not having any issues with the live stream. Hopefully everything is going okay. If there's any issues, audio, video, anything like that whatsoever, do not hesitate to let me know. I was making sure my mic was actually on. Sometimes I'm notorious for smashing the mute button. I hate that the button's right there where I would grab the mic, but if there's ever any issues, don't hesitate to say, hey, idiot, your mic's not working, or whatever the case may be over there in the chat. With that, we'll just go ahead and get right in. So you guys know, if you've been in our Discord group specifically, or even our Facebook group, which, by the way, if you're not in either of those groups, are totally free to join. I don't charge for, any quote-unquote masterminds or anything like that. Those groups are totally free to join. I make sure to post the videos and streams and everything in there as soon as possible. Some of you guys, of course, are posting as well, which I definitely want you guys to definitely don't be shy about posting in any of those group chats that you're in. I notice we're starting to actually get more and more, activity in both groups, which is awesome to see. The Facebook group we actually just started earlier this year, so it's a little bit smaller right now, under 100 members. And then our Discord, we've got like 200, pushing 300 members in there. So don't be shy about joining and asking any questions or anything like that. But my point was, if you've been in those groups, you notice that I was mentioning just a day or two ago over the weekend that I've been working on something for you guys. I said, I'm working on something special, and I was half tempted to not really bring it up yet, just because it's not finished. I don't want to say it was quote unquote thrown together or anything, but just to put in perspective, I was literally up until after 3 in the morning Saturday night. Which, if those of you know anything about me, you know that I got a lot of stuff going on with the baby and whatnot. So for me to be up after 3 in the morning putting some stuff together for you guys, definitely. How's it going there, Mr. Rue and Kristen and My World? I forgot to shout all y'all out in the chat, by the way. I'm so sorry about that. Just excited for this for you guys. But yeah, I've just been trying to get this thing put together. And like I said, it's not complete or anything whatsoever. It's actually still in the very, very early stages, and I'm actually going to be continuing to add to it as well for you guys in the future. It's going to be kind of expanding off of YouTube, but without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop right into it. You probably see it in my tab up here. I created, and I'm still in the process. Like I said, this is very, very early on for you guys. Like, in all honesty, I don't even like how my header is looking or anything like that whatsoever. But I'm in the process of creating a website for you guys that you're going to be able to go to. And over time, I'm going to be adding content, not just the video content, but actual like blog articles that are like follow along step by step type of articles to where you can literally do what I do with our pest control business. Those blogs, as far as I know, those are going to be completely free, just like the YouTube videos and everything like that. I'm not going to be charging for a course or anything that, like I said, you guys can find on your own, just like I've been doing at the end of the day. But I wanted to kind of put a compilation of everything together in like an actual post style, similar to like a blog post. And this is, what we kind of got so far. This is just the basic home page. I just go over kind of who I am, my journey, being in the pest control industry, what the website is for. By the way, I give you guys a little hint down here at the bottom as well about future events that we are hoping to be doing as we continue to grow this awesome community of entrepreneurs at the end of the day. And then, of course, we have a form here that you guys can fill out. This is specifically for those of you that there's been at least 1 dozen, if not even 2 dozen of you guys lately over the last couple months specifically who have asked, hey, do you offer any type of one-on-one consultation services, or do you offer any type of website services or anything like that. Even this is early on in terms of the form. This isn't all of the options or anything that like I am going to have for you guys. As a matter of fact, if you look up here, we actually kind of go over some of the, quote unquote services that I will be able to offer for those of you that just kind of want somebody to handle it for you or assist you. You may want to do it yourself, but that there's a lot of, skill that is developed over time that you just kind of want to fast track. So just to give you guys a quick idea, let's see, my world, bro, you're going to have a lot on your plate with all these things. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to have to keep growing the pest control business so I can justify hiring somebody for sure. And that is why also, just to be completely upfront, when it comes to some of these actual like website services and stuff, I'm not going to lie, from that side of it, it's not going to be, something that's just super cheap. One, because the stuff that I use, for example, the website services, if I can find that here. Yeah, the website services. There's a lot of tools that for my website I pay for, and if someone wants me to create a website for them, I'm going to do things like how I do my own website. It's going to have the same plugins that cost X amount of dollars per year. I haven't even added all of that up yet. Like I said, we're early on in all of this, because this, in all honesty, the services is the least of my concern. Like I said, the whole point of originally setting this website up was to essentially create kind of like a blog post structure, where I know me personally, I'm the type of person where I like to either follow along with a video, or better yet, have some kind of instructions of, do this and then this and then this and so on. So I was like, there's an opportunity here. There's not very many, if any, pest control websites that, dive into step by step from the creation of your business to, the growth stage where you're trying to hit 6 figures and upward to 7 figures, essentially. So, like I said, the services side of it, I haven't even really hardly began to dive in on that from a cost standpoint, just because, like I said, it's kind of something where it's just not that important to me. The most important thing is just helping you guys by any means necessary. And like I said, there's been some of you specifically who have asked. These services here are ones that I have heard mentioned at least more than 1 to 2 times at the bare minimum, when it comes to either our live streams or usually in comments on videos. I'll have a video from borderline a year ago where somebody will comment, hey, do you specifically consulting? That's why it's the first one up here. The most popular one that everyone asks for is, do you offer some kind of consulting service? I have 1 or 2 of you guys right now, maybe even 3, who have, set up some kind of ongoing, continual, once a month type of just, steering you in the right direction. I've actually hopped on the phone with one of you so far, just about a week ago, in terms of getting everything right for your website and Google My Business and everything. So that's one thing. I think that's probably going to be the most quote unquote popular thing that you guys, like I said, I know you've been asking for, and then I'm going to offer. And then, of course, like we said, the website hosting, that's another pretty popular thing. You're going to get my custom lead form that generates dozens of leads for us every single month, which, of course, when it comes to your lead form, obviously you have to drive traffic to your website at the end of the day, so we can help with that as well. And then, of course, I'm linking internally in there for other links. And another thing we're going to offer is the Google Business Profile service for pest control businesses. This stuff, all these services, of course, are for pest control businesses only. If you are following the channel and you have some other type of business, I'm just not a fraud. At the end of the day, I'm not going to sell a service to people that I may or I don't know for sure if it's going to work or not. I could easily sell the Google Business Profile service as well as even the website service to really any service business at the end of the day with a location in the case of the Google Business Profile. But like I said, it's my reputation at the end of the day, so I don't want to offer it to everybody. I'm just offering it to pest control businesses specifically, doing the things that we do to, get within that top 3, minimum top 5, within at least a 3 to 5 mile radius at the minimum. And then depending on your area, of course, you can get in that even further, within a 10, even some people say upwards of 20 mile radius. So, the last thing, of course, is Google Ads management, which is hilarious because I just added this in here this evening. If you're in our Discord group chat, I actually mentioned where I was actually bringing up CallRail, just giving you guys an idea of what CallRail looks like whenever you get a lead, and it'll tell you, exactly where the lead came from and all of that type of stuff. And showed you guys that the lead only cost me $24 on Google Ads. But that is just funny, the timing of that, because I just started running that ad like this last week, and Thursday or Friday? So towards the end of the week, because we don't even run ads Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, but yeah, we're going to offer the Google Ads management for you pest control companies. The thing that will make us, I say us, it's me essentially, that'll make, the service that I'm offering different from most other like marketing companies that you're looking at is I'm not necessarily going to have a minimum in terms of how much your Google ad budget needs to be. A lot of marketing companies, specifically the ones that I've talked to, they want you to have at least a bare minimum of $1,000. Some even have a higher minimum of like $3,000, which, don't get me wrong, obviously when it comes to Google, it's a pay-to-play game, right? Especially with Google Ads specifically. But as I just showed you guys, we had a lead for as little as $24, $25. Now, is that every single time? No. If you guys watched our Google Ad series, we had multiple times where just the pay-per-click was $30 to $40. So there's a lot that goes into the Google Ads, but we're not going to say, hey, you need to have at least $1,000 or $5,000. Like, there's going to be no minimum. Of course, we have to set realistic expectations, which we go through during the initial consultation process. But, we'll set you on the right path to, even if, say, you only have room for, say $20 a day, right? Say you're doing $20 a day, 4 days a week, just for a hypothetical. So $80 a week. That's about $300 to $400 a month. That is realistically what I would say is the minimum if you're looking at a minimum. But, even with that, you could be looking at some type of lead volume. If I were to estimate, not very high. Of course, like we said, depending on your budget, we'll go over realistic expectations. But we're not going to have it just set in stone, like you have to have X amount of dollars. Because I think that is a big problem when it comes to the pest control industry with Google Ads is, like I said, unless if you're already a bigger player, then Google Ads a lot of times can be seen as like a, either waste of money or just too far out of your reach because all the marketing companies require such a high amount up front. Which kind of leads into my final point in terms of these, services. If you're looking at it in terms of, well, what would be the most important? What would you suggest, Griffin? Because I know a lot of you guys trust me and I definitely appreciate you guys. I love you all so much. You're amazing. Your support for me, my channel, my business, even all that stuff. You guys are great. If I were to tell you guys, what I personally would suggest, first and foremost, one, if you're like me, where you're kind of a go-getter, want to just kind of, just learn from people who have been there, done that, the consultations will be more than enough for you. And nothing crazy. You don't need a weekly. You don't need bi-weekly. In all honesty, you could probably get away, depending on how much time you have in terms of getting to work on everything that we talk about, you could be fine with as far out as a quarterly consultation. If you know that, hey, I'm starting this part-time on the side, I know a lot of you in here are like that, quarterly consultations will be more than enough for you. If you're someone like me who's like, I'm diving right in, I'm planning on, I need just boom, 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 just kind of give me the path on what to do, then you'll probably want like monthly consultations, or maybe even every 6 to 8 weeks. We can set up a schedule based on your specific needs. Again, no type of cookie cutter stuff, similar to how I run my pest control company to a certain degree, right? Everything is going to be geared towards you, the viewer, essentially, or you, the customer, I guess, at that point. Runo's, yes, bro, I believe. We need to talk. This is exactly along the lines of what I thought you could offer. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. You messaged me on Facebook, I believe. So, yeah. Yeah, no, then that's funny if that's where you were actually heading towards. I think I might have replied to you. I don't remember for sure. How's it going there? Quality report. But yeah, no, in all honesty, most of you guys, for those of you that are like the go-getters, this is going to be more than enough. Now, in terms of importance from there, in all honesty, your Google business profile is everything. I cannot stress that enough. That is where last year, close to 90% of our leads were coming from. And even this year so far, I would say it's even more this year because, up until that Google ad lead that I just had tonight, I haven't really ran much in terms of Google ads, Facebook ads. I just recently started really turning the switch on that side of things. And we're running the Google ad right now at $50 a day, 4 days a week. If you don't know much about Google Ads, just because you set it at $50 a day doesn't mean it's going to actually be $50 a day. There may be some days where you spend no money whatsoever. For example, if we actually pull up my Google Ads, if we pull up my Google Ads, you will see that we were getting impressions, but we didn't spend any money because we're paying per click. We actually must have got a couple other clicks. I'll have to check and see if I got any more leads or anything, because our cost just went up. So that is interesting because, like I said, if you looked at what I posted just a little bit ago, is the audio quiet right now? Hopefully the audio's doing all right. As you can see, it says right here that we only spent, $24. So yeah, we must have got a couple more clicks earlier in the evening or something. But just to give you guys an idea, we started running this ad like about a week ago. Let's see, 24 through the 30, or I guess that'd be 31st through the 7th. So we'll apply it like this. So as you can see, we had 111 impressions. I found out actually that one of my conversions for calling got messed up with CallRail, so I'm going to have to edit that. But it popped up as our keyword tool or whatever within CallRail. So that messed up the actual conversion for that. But it's saying cost per click $23. But my point is, as you can see, when we do the cost filter, what do you see here? No money spent, no money spent, no money. We were getting impressions, no money spent, no money spent. And then, of course, it doesn't run Friday through Sunday. And then today, boom, we spent, $71, right? So, when I say like $50 a day, for example, you don't necessarily spend $50 per day. You know, you could spend 0, 2 or 3 days in a row, and then next thing you know, you spend $70 to $150 in one day, right? Just like today, for example, we spent just over $70. No, that's from before. Oh, okay, awesome. I can hear you fine. Leverage your knowledge to expand others is so rewarding. Yeah, no, most definitely. Yeah, and I mean, I was super hesitant for the longest on doing this type of thing just because, you know, of course, there's so many BS, like entrepreneurs out there who, you know, they sell you this course on how to make $1 million in 7 days doing Amazon FBA and this and that. And it's funny because I did Amazon FBA at one point and actually was making decent money for a, you know, college dropout. But, you know, I was really hesitant on doing this type of thing. But when I was just going over all my business stuff over and over and over, looking through everything, looking through all of the common questions that continue to come in, and especially, like I said, from the consultation side of things, people wanting to, you know, sit down, or not sit down, but, you know, like get on a phone or Google Meet, Zoom call, whatever the case may be, you know, for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever the case may be. And of course, I only have so much time in a day. I try to publish as much YouTube content as I can for you guys. And like I said, on this website, you can expect some, you know, step-by-step content as well. For those of you that, again, are kind of the go-getter types, I'm going to try, because the thing is that content is going to be very in-depth. It's not going to be like YouTube content where I can get on here, share my screen with you guys, walk you through it. You guys can, you know, rewind and this and that. This is going to be step-by-step content, again, that is free. But with that, since it's going to be so thought out, I'm probably only going to have time to actually do that content like once a month. It just depends. At the end of the day, like I said, I want the quality to be excellent. That way, you know, I could literally throw somebody that's never ran a business, never done any type of marketing, anything, you know, whatsoever in the pest control industry. They could look at it and go, oh, okay, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. And, you know, sure, there may still be some questions, and I'm going to have a comment section where if you have any questions, you can comment on it as well, just like YouTube, right? But also, like I said, for people that actually just want somebody to do it for them, I was like, you know, we already have a website. We're already going to have the consultation side of things. You know, I guess we might as well go ahead and just throw some of this stuff in here for people as well. And then, of course, lastly, not that I'm asking you guys for anything whatsoever. Some people, there's been at least half a dozen of you, you know, at least 5 to 10 who have asked, you know, because of course I'm not monetized on YouTube. There's so many requirements anymore that you have to meet to even just have things like super chat and stuff like that. People have asked, you know, how can we support you? The only way that I could really find anything is, of course, things like Patreon and all that kind of crazy stuff. If anyone feels like they want to donate to the channel or anything like that, there's also like a, you know, donation type of thing in there as well. It's just through Stripe. I created like a separate Stripe account for this specifically, so I know like where it's coming from. And it should tell me who it comes from too. That way I can, you know, shout you guys out on the YouTube channel and things as well. Like I said, I'm not asking for anything from you guys whatsoever. It's just some of you guys have been like hell-bent on the fact that like, hey, I want to help you because you're helping me, let me help you, you know, kind of that Southern hospitality, I guess. Let's see, Quality Report says, I have trouble figuring out pricing and building a good proposal out in New York City. Define, so in terms of what services, are you saying let's see, pricing and building a good proposal? Are you referring to like commercial pest control, residential? Is there a specific type of service that you're having the most issues with, or is it kind of all of them? Do you not know like where to begin? This could, depending on how you answer, you know, my follow-up question to your comment here, this could potentially be the type of question where you would potentially want some type of 30-minute to an hour consult, potentially. Unless if, like we said, if it's just one service or something, then it's usually pretty easy to answer, pretty straightforward, because, you know, in a YouTube comment feed or whatever the case may be, it's hard to give a quick answer that's actually valuable. May need to call other local companies and get over the phone quotes from them to see what the baseline is. Yeah, so that's one way, like what Kristen said, that's the easiest way in terms of, especially for residential services. That's why I was asking, are you referring to like residential, commercial, termite, wildlife, kind of figure out where you're having the issue or if it's kind of everything. Because in terms of residential, a lot of times it's pretty straightforward. Like she said here, just call a couple companies up. Some of them will want to, of course, do an inspection and things like that. But if you can get at least some type of a ballpark, say, I'm not interested in a free inspection, anything like that. I'm just looking for kind of like a general range. A lot of times the CSRs will give you some type of range. Let's see, how's it going there, Salvador? Nice to see you again this evening. If you're talking about residential, start calling. Yep, same thing there. If you mean commercial, walk through the job with a timer for a while to help. That's actually a good tip there. To judge the minutes it will take for a service, add 5 minutes for checking. Another 5 to 10 minutes for mixing. Exactly. Yeah, no, that's actually a pretty good response there as well in terms of, the commercial side of things, because of course there can be a lot that goes into it. Like us personally, when it comes to our commercial services, a lot of our commercial services, for whatever reason, they always have German roaches, it seems. So we go in there pricing them for a German roach clean out, and then from there, because by the time you deal with them on the German roach clean out side of things, by the time you get the roach problem under control to where you're, say, going out there once a month, right? Once a month, once a quarter, whatever the case may be, you've usually worked with, management, ownership, whoever, is paying you at the end of the day, enough to know kind of how big of a pain in the butt they're going to be. And if they're going to be too big of a pain, then, of course you can, quote unquote, price yourself out. And if they're willing to pay it, then, you suck it up and take the money and go do the service. Or, like Salvador said, if they seem kind of like a normal average account, then, you're going to want to just primarily base it on how much time are you going to be there, how much chemical, and, so it's pretty similar to pricing residential. It's just, it's easier to price residential over the phone, which I'm sure is why he gave you that quick little breakdown there, because, residential, it's much easier to get a price over the phone than, commercial services specifically, just because with a commercial service, you almost always have to have some kind of inspection done, unless if you are like me, where we have a very thorough, we have like a questionnaire that I'll ask them over the phone to get as much details as humanly possible. I'll even pull them up on Google Earth, pull them up on Google, like their business, because a lot of times businesses will have pictures of the inside posted all over. Sometimes we can quote commercial over the phone. In all honesty, more times than not. It blows a lot of people's minds, but, that's kind of the perks of pricing your service high, especially when it comes to commercial work. We are one of the highest in the DFW Metroplex. I get told it all the time. They're like, wow, you're like high. We're used to paying X. You're charging, like 50 to 70% more is what I hear a lot of times. But, that's just kind of how we do it. Do we get every commercial account? Absolutely not. But we tend to have a lot less like headache commercial accounts because of that too. We get paid on time. We don't deal with any funny BS. And, they take us for our word in terms of advice, because they know, hey, if I'm paying this much, they gotta know what the hell they're doing at the end of the day. So hopefully, the answers you got here were really good, and hopefully my answer as well kind of answers that question for you. And hopefully, of course, you guys are enjoying the stream so far. If you are, just do me a favor, smash the thumbs up, or I noticed we got this little heart thing similar to like TikTok apparently. Give me some hearts or some thumbs up, whatever the case may be. I appreciate you guys tuning in so far. Hopefully we have had, wow, we got 15 of you all tuning in so far. Shout out to you all for tuning in. You all have been, I notice every stream now we're getting well over 10 of you guys in here. You guys are definitely, dedicated to your pest control business or your future pest control business for some of you. Y'all are definitely, on the right path for sure. Oh, I totally forgot. Another thing that is going to be very helpful for you guys on this website that, like from I wouldn't say a service side of things, but just another tool, I guess, that you guys will be able to use on here. It's going to be pretty much completely blank right now. Like I said, blank, right? It's going to say, this is a reference page for those that are interested in products we use in our pest control business. And it tells you straight up, these products oftentimes come with affiliate codes that you guys can use to get great deals on, and in some cases we will get kickbacks such as credits off. Like Open Phone, for example, if you use our Open Phone software referral code, we get $20 off our subscription as well. It's not really like a monetary thing, but we get discounts and you get discounts type of thing. In some cases, cash compensation. That would be, if we post something from Amazon, we are in the Amazon affiliate program where we can, get a kickback for putting products from our Amazon shopping, whatever, my wife handles a lot of it. Like for example, I posted on one of our YouTube videos a pair of the glasses, right, from the day in the life of a six-figure pest control business owner. And if you watched through that video, you saw the glasses that I had that go over my glasses that are badass glasses, by the way. They're my most favorite safety glasses that I found. And they're only like $8 too. But I linked those in the description box of that video, I believe. That's an example of that. You get like 5% or whatever, something like that. It's nothing crazy. But just like I said, always upfront with you guys about that kind of thing. How's it going there, Mr. Todd Petty? I'm interested in the questionnaire. By questionnaire, are you referring to the consultation service that I was referring to a little bit ago? How's it going there, DNB 189? What app do you use when you do door to door? Any apps that show species of bugs and best treatment? So that's actually a good question. So if you're going to do door to door, what I would do first is when you set up your pest. This is actually a really good question. When you set up your pest control business website, set it up with a bug, like a pest identification page. I need to even get on this for my own website, to be honest, because I know how valuable it can be for a website. But have, all the different pests that you know about in your area. If you don't know, all of the pests, one, you should, get on that, of course. But also, just do some searches. You might have to do a little bit of homework, or hell, even use ChatGPT. Use ChatGPT to do all that. I think if you're part of the National Quality Report actually is bringing it up. The NPMA, I don't even know necessarily if you have to be a member of the NPMA to have access to it. But I believe they have a tool as well you can use. But the best way to do it, in my opinion, would be when you're setting up your website to set it up with a pest identification tool that is specific for your area. If you want to get super creative with it, you can even make a dedicated page for each town that you're dealing with. And if you want to be just over the top extra, you can even do it by neighborhood or suburb, right? So yeah, hopefully that kind of helps. In terms of what app? So yeah, I'm assuming you were just referring to, the bugs and best treatment. So that's what I would do. And in terms of best treatment, I'm kind of wondering what you're referring to, because of course with most of the treatments, it's going to be somewhat straightforward in terms of, are you doing just kind of general pest control, mosquito treatment, termite prevention, liquid treatment, that kind of thing. How's it going, Jordan Wheeler? Do you use pest routes for door-to-door? I've done door-to-door sales for 9 years and I'm going to open my own company. So I don't use pest routes. We use GorillaDesk personally, which is funny actually. I believe that Chris actually just messaged me about that, because I'm talking to them about getting some type of an affiliate code for you guys. Speaking of, affiliates and whatnot, I'm in talks with them about getting an affiliate type of thing worked out to where maybe you guys can get a discount for that as well. I don't use Pest Routes or what are some of the other ones. I think it's Field Routes now, as a matter of fact. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But man, if you got 9 years of door-to-door sales, my guy, you are gonna kill it. I promise you. Let me know if you're still watching, Jordan Wheeler. What area are you located in the U.S. or if you're even in the U.S.? What metroplex are you a part of? Because man, I'm telling you, if you're gonna do door-to-door and you have 9 years of experience, you're going to absolutely kill it. Especially if you're doing it like yourself. You're not hiring a company. You're gonna do awesome. I actually purchased the picture of this insect from Google as an aid for bug identification if I need it in a pinch in the field, but it doesn't indicate treatment options. I mean, that's still a pretty good start though there, Kristen, because I know for a fact you all have experience in the industry, so you'll be able to, come up with that right on the fly. Let's see. We'll retire from the Army. Oh, I'm glad you brought up the Army. That leads me to the next point. If you guys are veterans or active military, whatever the case may be, I'm going to offer 10% off of any of the, services that we will have on this website. If you guys are, ever interested in us doing any type of services for you. Because I cannot repay you guys enough for doing everything for the freedoms that we have. We're cowards at the end of the day, just to put it bluntly. So you all having the courage to do what you all did for us is the least that we can do. It's the same thing with my pest control company. We offer discounts for that as well. But you were saying we'll retire from the Army in 5 years. Going to move to Alabama, good area for pest control. Been looking into good business to start. After watching your videos, I definitely am interested in pest control. Looking into Jobber as an organization tool. So I'll say this, DB9 or DNB 189. Jobber is good if you're going to stay as a one-man show. I believe somebody else in a recent stream actually mentioned Jobber, because they were actually having some issues with GorillaDesk, apparently, with their contracts or something like that, which I haven't heard back from them. Hopefully they got that straightened out with Chris or somebody. But Jobber's good if you're going to be a one-man show. Like if you are, because I see that you say you're going to retire here in about 5 years, so I don't know your age. I know with the military, you can retire from the military at a pretty young age. My own stepbrother, retired from the Marine Corps, and he was like in his mid to upper 20s, if I recall. But with them specifically, it's just very limiting. Like I said, if you're going to be a one-man show, it'll probably work fine. In all honesty, even as a one-man show, I'm a one-man show still to this day. My wife helps me out, of course, with call volume and leads and stuff like that, scheduling. But, I love GorillaDesk even as a one-man show. It's, $99 a month, $49 a month if you're using their basic plan. Trust me, that $99 a month plan is so worth it, all the tools that come involved with it. But it is a matter of how much do you want to grow at the end of the day. If you just want to, kind of own your job, as some people would say, you're fine with making $100,000 to $250,000. Obviously, that's pre-tax, pre-chemical, all that fun stuff, of course, right? But if you're fine with making that and, just doing it all yourself, then Jobber isn't necessarily like the worst thing. But if you plan on scaling, I wouldn't even worry about messing with Jobber and then integrating later on. I would just go straight for GorillaDesk. You'll be so glad that you did. And even if it's not GorillaDesk, right? It could be Field Routes. It could be Biro Stack, something like that. There's multiple of them out there, but GorillaDesk, from my experience, has been hands down the best. Their customer service is excellent as well. Jobber's kind of a big company, so you're gonna talk to somebody overseas more than likely. That kind of thing. Let's see. We'll need to check with your local law, see if experience is required. If so, yeah, so that is the other thing too. Let's see. I missed Kristen's comment there. Let's see what you said here. What about Alabama? You said 34 years old now, will be 39 in retirement. So you can go the college route if you want to. I believe it would require, it again depends on state to state. The best thing that you could do is go to the Alabama Department of Agriculture website. They should have information in there in terms of requirements. I know for me, because I'm in Texas, right? What I do, I have it pulled up all the time. You go to your Department of Agriculture. So this is the one for Texas, and you can see they have everything here. License, registrations, rules and statutes, education and training, different forms that you're going to need to fill out. So usually all of the information you're going to need is going to be on your state Department of Agriculture website. And if for some reason you have an issue, usually it's very easy to contact them. I'm trying to see, actually. Usually, yeah, there you go. You have their 1-800 number in our case. And just for you, because you're an Army guy and I want to help you out, let's see, Alabama Department of Agriculture. I've never even seen this website before, so let's just take a look at it together. So, the Alabama Department of Agriculture, contact news about programs and services. Let's see, agriculture compliance, it may be under that one, or maybe pesticide management. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one. So that's herbicide stuff, pesticide applicator search, pesticide registration. So their website is definitely a little bit different than the TDA, Texas Department of Agriculture. They have their phone numbers in their footer, though. So if you have issues finding the information that you need, because see, these are pesticide registration. Let's see if it's under programs, maybe. So commercial applicators, here you go. So yeah, this is where you're going to want to go. Let's see. Pesticide product registration, restricted use dealer. You're not going to be a private applicator. You'll be a commercial applicator. You might have to look under professional services as well. Let's look at their commercial applicator. Testing, once the appropriate exams have been passed, one must apply for certification through this office. Let's see, links and resources, commercial applicator information. So I would start here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat for you, DNB189. That way, after the stream, you can take a look at it and, kind of find, because they have other links and information, forms, all that. They should have pretty much, and the most important thing, of course, rules and regulations. This is where I would actually start, is the rules and regulations, because right here you see it says professional services law. I would definitely start in the rules and regulations section. So hopefully that kind of helps you. And this actually reminds me, speaking of copy and paste, I'm going to go to our home page and I'll copy and paste the link for if you guys end up wanting to check this out after the stream. I'm going to pin it so it's at the top of the chat for you guys. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss any comments. I'm in Georgia. Yeah, and like most states require 1 to 2 years of experience. So I'm glad that Kristen brought that up, because I was forgetting to even mention if you had any experience or anything. But let's see. I plan to retire. I want to use at least 2 years in Army to get certified. So yeah, no, you definitely, I would check into the Army as well, even see if they have anything that could help. And like I was mentioning, you can also go the college route, which in some cases would only require as little as like 2 years. I think in some states you could only, you would need to get at least an associate's degree, maybe even a bachelor's in like biology or entomology, something like that. Jordan says, is that comparable? How much is your monthly subscription? So for GorillaDesk, the subscription is like right around $99 a month. They do have different plans, just to give you an idea. So you can see we're on the $99 a month plan. You can see just how much it costs. The basic plan is like $49 per month, and there's no tax or anything either with GorillaDesk. So you do get quite a few tools on the basic plan: unlimited unlimited admin, I should say, users, unlimited mobile devices in terms of app downloads and logins, job mapping, routing, limited up to 24 stops, which is not bad, especially when you're first getting started. Square and Stripe integration, automated email and SMS, and material tracking. So everything that you absolutely have to have, in my opinion, for just $49 a month. Now, if you want to get everything, once you're getting bigger, like routing over 24 stops, being able to set up Stripe subscriptions to save money, which I still need to take advantage of, as a matter of fact, because I'm being charged like an extra, I don't know what it comes out to, like 1% or something for that. But if you're looking at doing GorillaDesk, unless if, you're just kind of trying to do the bare bones basic, staying a one-man show, the basic would be fine. But that $50 a month, it pays for itself with everything. You get the documents, which you don't get on the basic. That alone, and then the review generation and the customer report. I mean, yeah, no. In all honesty, I would not tell anybody to get the basic plan. I've had this plan since my second or third month in business. We started out just using Square appointments for setting everything up. And my goodness, I'm glad that I switched when I did. You can see you can go all the way up to 75 technicians as well. So, this thing, it can scale pretty big. From what I understand, there is a certain point within about the 10 to 25 technician range that some people have told me GorillaDesk actually is technically more expensive than some of the other platforms. You see at 75 techs, you're at $3,800 a month. But, it's kind of one of them things where it's like to each their own, right? So, yeah, that's how it compares. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. Let's see. You say, I lived in the Woodlands and sold in the Houston area, but have moved to Boise, Idaho. It'll be a little different here, but I think I should be able to do 500 to 750 accounts a year just by knocking on doors myself. Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't be surprised in that. Yeah, you're definitely right compared to Houston, Texas area where obviously it's bugs galore, right? It's definitely going to be different, but you're probably going to have more wildlife, I can only imagine. So yeah, you'll still be able to, like you said, sell like crazy. And speaking of door knocking too, because how many accounts you're talking about signing up, that's going to require a lot of time knocking on doors, right? Do not sleep on your Google business profile. Can't stress it enough. Let's see. 34 years old now, be 39. Any schools that'll help me. Yeah, in terms of the schools, that would also be something that you'd want to look up. Oh my gosh, my neck is killing me today. That'll definitely be another thing that you'd want to look up as well. If you don't mind me asking, what are your profit margins after expenses and such? So in terms of this year, I would totally have to ask my accountant. Just to be completely honest, I haven't even updated my QuickBooks in terms of, categorizing expenses and stuff since June. So I'm getting a little bit behind for sure. She's actually telling me that I need to send in like credit card statements and stuff, to line some stuff up. In terms of just, what's the term that they use? The CPAs use. Oh my gosh, I know the word that I'm trying to come up with, but I can't even come up with it off the top of my head. But in terms of just last year, for example, on paper for the IRS, we showed roughly, let's see, we did 158,000 and we did 71 in profit. So would that be just under 50% is what we showed on paper, right? We also, filed our S Corp documents last year as well, which kind of helped out with things, especially in terms of the tax burden. I just know what she put on my documents and everything, and I just know in terms of what I bring home month per month, essentially. I need to do better, in all honesty, in terms of, trying to actually expand, focusing on some of those KPIs and everything. I can tell you, I am very thorough about, how much money I spend where, such as chemical, right? I know with chemical, we only spend about 4 to 5% of our average month to month sales income, gross profit on chemical, all that type of stuff. In terms of true realized profit, I'm trying to think. After paying myself, are you wanting to include paying myself on top of that, or before paying myself? I guess I should ask that way as well. Definitely look into GorillaDesk. Yeah, and like I said, I'm actually in the process of looking at getting a referral link for you guys. So hopefully, maybe we can get you guys some kind of deal on GorillaDesk as well. You guys know I've been talking about them pretty much as long as I've been posting my pest control content, right? One of my first videos was actually, in terms of the pest control related content, was about how much we love GorillaDesk and stuff. So we'll see if maybe they can get something for you guys. Private applicator does not allow someone to run a business. Exactly. Yeah, no. In terms of what we were looking at over here, you'll need to do the commercial applicator side of things. How's it going there, Estevan? Nice to see you again. Let's see. Honestly, the do's and don'ts in pest control are pretty extreme penalty if done wrong. So even if a state doesn't require it, it would be highly beneficial to at least get hired. Yeah, for sure. If you even like it. Right, yeah. Even also, DNB, I didn't even think about that. So, you were mentioning that you haven't been in the business per se, but you're looking at getting in. So Kristen is actually kind of onto something there. You may want to even just test it out to see if you even like the industry first. I will say, it's a pretty, I wouldn't say laid back, because if you're in Alabama, you're going to be hot as hell, right? But it is overall, there's a lot worse industries, but some people just don't like it. I have a cousin, for example, not the cousin who owns a pest control business, but his brother works for Terminex up in the Midwest currently, and he's like, man, I don't see myself doing this forever. I don't really care for this business. He says it's like too easy at the end of the day. Like he wants something that's a little more challenging. Let's see, just got certified to do Google business accounts. It's huge. Don't miss out on updating. Yeah, no, exactly. You a S Corp or LLC? So we are a limited liability company, but we file our taxes. So this is where a lot of people get confused as well, because there's so much bullshit on the internet, right? The S Corp has nothing to do with your LLC. Your LLC is what your business, you can be a sole proprietorship, which, if you're just a solo one-man business, that's how you're seen in the eyes of the IRS anyways. You can be a limited liability company. You can be a corporation. Those are pretty much, there's a couple other ones that nobody does, but those are your three main ones for your actual business. What's the word that they use? Structure. The structuring of your business. When it comes to the S Corp, that is actually just how you're filing. That's for tax filing purposes. So when you're filing your taxes, say you're a single member LLC, for example, like most of you will start. And again, I have to always say this on YouTube and all these other platforms. This is not tax advice, financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. You guys understand all that. But when it comes to doing your taxes, if you're a LLC, single member LLC, you would file just simply as a sole proprietor, just a self-employed individual, right? And you get taxed the heaviest. You just get beat over the head with taxes. Now, when you would decide to go to an S Corp, would be usually, if depending on who your accountant is, most will say once you're doing about $40,000 to $50,000 per year in profit, net profit, I should say, that is when it is worth going ahead and registering as a S Corp for tax filing purposes and, doing all that stuff. The reason why they suggest a certain threshold is because of all of the fees that will come in terms of your accountings are going to be more expensive. You're going to have to start paying yourself on payroll as well. So you're going to have payroll expenses, payroll tax, all these other things that you weren't having before as just a sole proprietor with your filings. And then there's also, I believe, C Corp, which most companies, just a C Corp doesn't really make sense. I believe the C Corp would be more so if you're going down like the public offering route, like you're wanting to become like a public company, something of that nature, which even as an S Corp, you can have outside investors come in. It's just you can only have, I believe, a certain number. I forget because I'm not really looking to go down that route or anything. But yeah, hopefully that kind of answers the question about like, are you a S Corp or LLC? Because we are both. If you look us up, it's Preferred Pest Management LLC, limited liability. But in terms of the tax filings, we still file our company as Preferred Pest Management LLC, but we're taxed as an S corporation. So hopefully that kind of makes sense there. How many active accounts do you have currently? That's a good question. Let's take a look. Not very many, in all honesty. At least not for my liking. Let's see. Go to reports. We'll go over here to customers. Oops, I had the wrong thing. Not new customers. Because I don't do any door knocking or anything, of course. So customers without an active job. Where's my oh, here we go. Customers. So 578 total. And this is part of why we're bringing my wife on, because we have so many without a service that we need to, get them on another plan. Like one-time services, exclusion services, one-time liquid termite treatments, all that type of stuff that we need to get on other services. So over 300 without a service, 264 currently with a service. That is before going in and adding a couple of new starts this week who will have active quarterly services. I usually do that late in the evening. That's what I'd be doing right now, as a matter of fact, if I wasn't on this live stream right now. But under 300 actual, recurring accounts. But like I said, I've done absolutely zero door knocking. All of my customers have been acquired through a few ways: Google local service ads, Google ads, organic social media outreach, our YouTube channel, and our Google business profile, and then our website SEO. Everything has been digital for our business. We have literally been like the most digital company in terms of pest control that really I can think of, in terms of from the moment we started this company. The closest I got to door knocking was hanging up some door hangers when I first started the business, and that was it. I didn't knock on any doors. I've never knocked on a door for business or anything like that whatsoever. Every customer I've acquired, they have, found us, essentially. Let's see. How's it going, Estevan? I'm thinking of holding back on termite. So how's it going, light novel? Thinking of holding back on termite services as till I get big enough. Termite services brings in big money, but it also brings a pretty big liability. What do you think? So, ish. Obviously, negligence can come in, right? But let me break something down for you. Let's say, for example, I just want to use an example here. Trying to see if I can pull up one of my dummy accounts, maybe. You know what? I'll just use a customer that I know won't care if we use their account. Let's see. Let's just go into documents, new document, termite service agreement. Let's just give you a breakdown of this, right? So let's look at this document here. We'll scroll down. As you can see, if we scroll all the way down, you can see at the very bottom, what is your warranty? Retreatment only or no guarantee. So you could do, now this is for our Texas termite service agreements. As long as you have a service agreement with your customers signing off and you're going above and beyond to protect yourself, you could offer no guarantee if you wanted to. Now, I will say, if you're offering no guarantee, you better plan on your pricing being about 60% of what your competitors are, 50 to 60%. So, say your average, home is $1,500. For you, it's probably gonna be closer to $950 to $1,000. But like you said, you're not having to worry about any liability or anything. So, take the good with the bad, or even doing what we do, which is the retreatment only guarantee. We do not offer any type of warranty for structural damage whatsoever. It's laid out very, very clearly in the termite agreement. I would show you all like the actual jargon, the actual, what's the word I want to use? Like the lawyer jargon that's in there, right? This is one of the documents that actually come with your GorillaDesk Pro membership, but it is very, very sue-proof. Like, you don't have to necessarily, like, someone could try to sue you if they want, sure, but it's not going to go anywhere at the end of the day. So, hopefully, that helps with that. I wouldn't hold back. Let me put it that way. Like, I wouldn't hold back. If anything, you could do something similar to what my own grandfather does, which I don't even think he does termite work anymore because he's like 70 years old. I hope he's not, at least. But he would essentially price his termite services so high that, like, if somebody was willing to do it, he was like, hey, if they're willing to do it, I'm willing to do it, right? So I wouldn't say, don't be gun shy about it. Just, definitely always educate yourself on it. Always be looking at how to improve the service and do better. And, if you want to, like we said, you could go the no guarantee route or, the retreatment only route. But hopefully that kind of helps. Here, how's it going, Salvador? Here is the direct page to our chief financial officer and bookkeeping firm. Numbers are based on hundreds of companies' books. Net profit is usually 10 to 20%, then add all things you won't have to pay. So 21% labor, admin labor, and if you are the admin team, or let me see, did I read that right? Admin labor, and if you're the admin team, if you don't spend 9% marketing as well, etc. Yeah, and then of course, how much do you pay yourself, which I think, like he said here, if you're the admin team, you're doing the labor, etc., etc. But usually, in terms of what we pretty much, if I were to say a net profit, we're probably a 0% net profit company from a technical standpoint, just because whatever money, because we cash flow everything, first and foremost. Like, we don't put stuff on, if we put it on a business credit card, it ends up getting paid down as soon as possible, usually same month, next month, or at the latest 90 days on a 0% business interest, business credit card with 0% interest, whatever the case may be. And then anything outside of that, we either shove back into marketing, shove back into loading up on chemicals, because a lot of our suppliers, they'll give us a discount if you buy, certain amounts of chemical and stuff like that. We'll focus on upgrading equipment. Like, I just got another B&G recently, so now we have a repellent B&G, non-repellent B&G, all of that. And then of course, I pay myself. If I have a really big month, I'm a dumbass, right? I'll do something stupid like pay for everybody's dinner or something one night, or whatever the case may be, and blow $300 to $500 on a dinner. It's a business dinner, of course. I'm interviewing somebody for a job or something, but you know what I mean. At the end of the day, like I said, I do my budget how I do my personal budget, which is called a zero-based budget, which means by the time I get done doing the entire budget, there is no money left at the end of the month. A lot of people would say that's a terrible way to run a business. Well, that's up to them at the end of the day. Now, don't get me wrong, I do keep a couple of $1,000 on hand, rolling into month over month over month. Like, one, because our business checking account requires $2,000 minimum, otherwise you get charged like a little BS $15 fee or whatever. But it's not a bad idea to still have a couple $1,000s, in case if shit happens, right? The God only knows fund, right? So, let's see. Sounds good. Thanks. Yeah, not a problem. Once you add up all your percentages, you should be able to pretty easily get an idea of what income and profit you can get as a solo. Sorry, I should proofread my post. No, you're good, man. Yeah, no, in all honesty, I mean, let me just give you guys an idea. You guys know I've brought up this app before, Every Dollar. I've been bad about updating this thing lately, let me tell you. But let me just give you guys an idea. I always start out our budget based on kind of the minimum that I think we're going to do in sales. From there, I'll put down, what I consider like the four walls. If you're wondering, dude, why is your water bill so much? It's a weird situation. We're paying for like 3 months because the landlord didn't get it transferred into our name or something. But we put in, all of our general expenses. Then from there, we have our gas, our tolls, food money that I spend out in the field, our phone bill, software, chemical, marketing, sales tax, miscellaneous supplies, my gym membership, which is a personal expense. I just listed in here. And then, our car payment, again, personal expense, but I listed in there just because it makes it from a budgeting standpoint easier on me than managing, 2 budgets. And then our 2 truck payments. And then, of course, if there's other things that pop up, like we pay our auto insurance every 6 months, so we don't have to worry about that month to month. We pay our business insurance 1 year at a time. So it cuts out a lot of the quote unquote fluff for our business. But then, as you can see here, we'd have about $800 left. So what would that be in terms of a true, NOI? Oops. Let's calculate it real quick. And this probably still wouldn't even be a technical true NOI or anything, but 802 divided by 13K, that'd be what? 6%? Like I said, I mean, we do a zero-based budget. By the time I get to the end of the month, that 802, or chances are how this month is going, more than that, will have an assignment. Every dollar has a job, and its job is to produce more dollars. I look at my business like what it is, an investment. The golden goose needs to lay lots of eggs. So every dollar has a job. Every dollar, its job is to turn into at least to $2 to $10 ultimately. That's how I look at all of our, outside of course, the money that we spend on all of the bullshit, payouts. And by the way, my payout is usually not this much. And technically, all of this stuff is classified as a payout. But in terms of, additional money outside of standard cost of living, electricity, natural gas, water, rent, this obviously is going to be kind of like my food, other, general cost of living, that kind of thing. Usually this is actually around $2,000, but it's my daughter's birthday month, so you know what that means, right, guys? Any of you that are men and have daughters, you know what that means. More money is going to be spent on that month. I see a lot of 100s being thrown up right now. So, yeah, somebody's got some kids, I got a feeling. But no, hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of how I do it at least. Where do you buy your products from? So, I'm not loyal to one provider or anything. I will say we get most of our products through Pest, which is Vecerus, or some of you may formerly know them as Univar. They tend to have most of the products we need and also some really good pricing. Their Flow Zone pricing, absolutely killer. As a matter of fact, I just bought some Flow Zone stuff. I appreciate all those 100s. Keep those coming. I love those things. The 100s, the hearts, all that. I love that stuff. Let me take a look here. I'm going to show you guys. These are some of those Flowzone products that we just bought, and just look at, I'll pull up the Flowzone website. I see your comment here, Salvador. I'll get to you here in just a second. Positive Vibes DIY, thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate you tuning in. Summer can be a bit hard to have a net income profit since expenses are high, etc. We were negative 1 to 2% last few months due to growth. Man, Salvador, you're killing it though. I've been following some of your stuff as well, because I think you're in a couple of the other pest control groups, if I remember right. And I mean, you're killing it. You're doing way better than us. Like, just being totally upfront. You're absolutely. You should be the one having a YouTube channel, my man. Let's see. What was I gonna look at? Oh, I think accessories, if I recall. So we have not astute nozzles and wands, I believe. Okay, here we go. So, they just lowered their damn price. Are you kidding me? So I was going to show you guys, which this is still cheaper actually, on Vecerus. And actually all these are. So look here, the Flowzone quick connector. This is a part that we need for our Flowzone, since we're using our Flowzone backpack as a mosquito mister. Look at here, $10.14, $14.99 on the Flowzone website, and it's sold out right now. Can't even get it. Guess what? My supplier's getting it to me here this week. And for, what, 40% less of the price, roughly. And then, as you can see, these tips are only like $1. I ordered like 3 of them because I was like, that ain't gonna last. I guarantee you the price on that's going up. You better load up on these guys. Because, let me see. These guys here, $3, $3. I thought there were more. Let me see. There's probably more on the next page, I'm sure. I do like this drift guard too. If any of y'all have used that drift guard, let me know how that works, because, man. Let me see. Same thing with these guys, $5. Like, everything is so much more on the Flowzone website, where from Vecerus we got it for a steal. I mean, close to 50% of the price. Same thing with Lambda 9.7. If you guys want an idea of what I mean in terms of when I will take our money, if we have a bunch of extra money, and invest into buying, more chemical in bulk. An example of this would be when we buy Lambda 9.7 CS in bulk. We'll usually just buy 6 because I can't afford to buy 24 of them, just being totally honest. I mean, if you were to buy 24 of them, that would cost, let's see, just for shits and giggles. So if you were to look at buying 24, oops, they still have all my other stuff in the cart here. I know it's going to be a lot, though. Oops. What happened? What equipment sprayer do you use? So for the sprayer, we use the Flowzone Typhoon 2.5 right now, which is actually kind of what I was going over here just a second ago, with some of the parts that we were buying to use their new tips that they just came out with for like mosquito spraying and all that kind of stuff. Same thing with Nyban. And by the way, the price that they list on here is not always the price you're going to get it for in a good way, by the way. So this was listed for $99.93. They gave it to us for $90. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, like, oh, it's $10. Dude, $10, I mean, do the math. Like, it all adds up. Rule number 1 about money, never say the word only about money. So if you were to buy 24 of those, it's going to cost you $1,600. Now, do I plan on doing this someday? Probably in the near future. Seeing the price? Absolutely. I could definitely buy this. But, even if I had another $20,000 to $25,000 month, that's a good little chunk of the income. But 24 of them, that at my current size of a route would last me pretty much a full year at the most. Probably closer to like 6 to 10 months. But yeah, that's actually something I might want to keep an eye on, especially if they have any kind of deal on Lambda or anything like that. Let's see. And then as for the equipment, other types of equipment, We have a 30-gallon electric skid sprayer that is hooked up, wired through our truck, and that's what we use to fill up our backpack, do our termite sprays, all of that. We get a lot of product in terms of termite equipment and stuff through Q-Spray. Same thing with the B&G sprayers. We get those from Q-Spray. I actually did a video. I don't know if Q-Spray has them anymore. I got a B&G from them for, oh my gosh, what was it, guys? If any of you all remember that video, remind me in the comments. I want to say it was only like $250 or maybe $299, something like that. It was a very good price for a 1-gallon B&G. And I posted about it on the YouTube channel immediately. One of you guys actually mentioned that you picked one of them up because you were like, wow, that was a good deal. Thanks for mentioning that. I try to do stuff like that for you guys as well. Birchmire or Flowzone. I like Flowzone the most personally. Thanks for the kind words. Still learning for sure. Took us way too long. That's how I feel right now. Took us way too long to get our act together. We are finally figuring things out a bit. And how long have you been in business, by the way, Salvador? I haven't gotten access to Vesrus yet because it seemed like they were more expensive on some things. What's the rate for Alpine WSG? Let me take a look. Alpine WSG is expensive, I'll tell you that. So they have, let's see, And by the way, it helps to get in good with your reps too, because like I said, I know for a fact I don't pay this much for one bottle. I pay closer to, this range. I want to say like $190 is what I pay for just one bottle. And you probably know this, Kristen, one bottle of this big bottle of Alpine WSG, depending on how many services you're using it for, it's usually going to last a long time. I know you do a lot of bed bug work, so I'm assuming, I don't know actually if you're using Alpine WSG or not. I know a lot of companies actually use Temperate FX that do chemical bed bug treatments, but flea treatments, ant treatments, German roach treatments, of course, we love using this. But it is expensive, but where I was going with that is, one, you only use it inside, of course, at least we do. And it lasts for a very long time. One bottle of this has lasted me over a year because you're usually only using, 10 to 30 grams per gallon, if I recall, for the mix rate off the top of my head. Let's see. If your net income is 10%, then $1 saved is 10x more impactful than $1 earned. True that. Yeah, so think about it from that standpoint of what I was referring to with Niban, where if you're saving $10, 10x, there you go. Don't use it for bed bugs. Temperate sucks for bed bugs. Crossfire or Apprehend. That's interesting. I've actually only used, believe it or not, I've used Temperate and I've used Alpine WSG, I believe. I don't want to sound like an idiot live right now. I may have not used Alpine WSG. It's been a while since I've done a bed bug job. I know for a fact I've used Temperate. For the longest, I was using an IGR because I listened to some dumbass scientists tell me that IGRs work good on bed bugs when they don't. But different topic for a different day. But I know I've used Temperate FX. I'm trying to think if I used Alpine WSG for bed bugs or not. But it usually, whichever one it is that I use, it works pretty good. I have heard that Crossfire does work really good. About 15 to 16 years, 11 total employees, including us. Hey, that's almost an employee a year. Like, you can't complain at the end of the day. Temperate has a 7 to 10 day reapplication time, even on the label. Yeah, no, it does. I noticed that as well when I first started using this. I was like, why is it so expensive again? But I will say this, I have not had a single callback or, a lot of times we'll do an inspection 2 to 3 weeks after doing the treatment. I haven't had a situation where I had to do a treatment again. So, yeah. IGRs don't work on bed bugs, but good for roaches. Exactly. Temper works good for roaches. Yep. Alpine is a suitable alternative. So, yeah, I have used Alpine then. I was just trying to make sure. I was like, because I felt like for some reason I was wrong saying that. I was like, wait a minute, did I use Alpine? But I use a mix, Alpine, temp. It's more so, in all honesty, what's on my truck on that given day. But yeah, that's what we use primarily. And I was trying to think, was there anything else in terms of our big announcement today that I might have been missing out on? I think I brought this up, the fact that I'm going to have a bunch of products on here. That might have been how we got on this subject, as a matter of fact. I'm going to have a bunch of products and even in some cases like short little blog post articles about products that I use out in the field, I use for my business. Not just like products in terms of chemical equipment, that kind of thing, but even softwares, plugins for websites and things like that. It'll really benefit those of you that are using WordPress websites specifically. And of course, if you end up deciding you want me to build a pest control website for you, then you don't even really have to worry about that for the most part, depending on how involved you want to be in it. But yeah, this page over time, like I said, it's blank right now. It's going to end up filling up with like different posts and different, products and things like that. Because a lot of times people be like, hey, where'd you get this? Where'd you get that? What is this? What is that? That kind of thing. So I felt like that would be a good page to put all this on. And I'll be sure to like link it in future videos and all that type of stuff as well. Let's see. The temperate needs to be tossed out of any bedbug kit pronto. How often do you go live? I try to go live at the minimum. So for the longest, we were pretty much going live just one day a week, usually on like either Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays. Now I'm trying, because a little birdie told me that YouTube is trying to really push for live. They noticed with like TikTok specifically that, the live viewership, the interaction is a very powerful thing apparently, for what YouTube's goal is to keep you all on YouTube as much as possible, right? That's not my goal. My goal is to obviously provide value to you, but part of that is if I want to reach more people who are looking to start and grow a pest control business and grow our community here, you got to play YouTube's little algorithm game. And I'm trying to go live at least at the bare minimum 2 to even 3 times per week. And I will tell you guys, more than likely, once we get into the winter, I'll probably go live just about once a day for you guys, even if it's short, like something like we did our little ride along the other day. That was like 20 minutes or so. Even if it's just quick streams, I'll probably do stuff like that for you guys. And then once I actually get to where I'm more so out of the field, have a full-time employee, that kind of thing, I'll be doing live streams a lot more then as well. So look for a lot more live streams. We're going to be going live, like I said, usually at least twice a week, sometimes even 3 or 4, and look for that to just continue to increase over time. In all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if over the long haul, if we end up doing more live streams than videos and shorts. I notice shorts don't really, that's one thing YouTube's just not really good at, is the whole short-term video stuff, or maybe I'm just not good at it, I don't know. But it doesn't really take off a lot compared to videos or streams. How much do you charge to do a full website? So that is still in the works. I will say that DNB 189, this whole, deal that I've just kind of fired up here is all brand new. I was up till 3 a.m. overnight, Saturday into Sunday, trying to just get this done, or as close to done as possible for you guys. One of the things in here, actually, say for example, you're wanting me to build you a pest control website, you would click yes. What date works for you is for the consultation. If you end up deciding you're wanting to do, one of the services, there's going to be more services in here in the form. It's just right now, these are the ones that I know are going to be kind of the most popular. You'll also have the Google Business Profile Management as an option, and ongoing website SEO, article publishing, things like that. But just to get like a website started, you can let me know. This is mostly going to depend on how many service areas do you have. You guys know, like for my pest control website, for example, we don't even have all of our cities on here yet. We're missing cities like Allen, Texas, just to name one right off the top of my head. But look here, that just in terms of pages alone, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 pages right there alone. That doesn't include the home page. That doesn't include service pages. That doesn't include service pages for the location pages. That doesn't include, if you want an about us, contact us. In all honesty, guys, what you mostly need is obviously your home page, your service area pages, your contact us page, a video library, or, Pest library for some of you guys. And then your services, like your service pages that link back to your service location page. The Our Services page, I mean, yeah, you want it, but if anything, you don't need to make actual service pages for all these. You could just say Our Services, have a drop down that shows all the services, or on your home page and every other page, have a section that goes over, of course, this is a bad example. Let me go and show you guys an example here. Let's see. I believe our Roulette page is pretty well optimized from this standpoint. You'll want to have like a list of the different services. So this is what I mean when I say service pages for the location page. So you have, of course, your services. Those are just your generic service pages. Like I said, these do pretty much nothing for your website. I wouldn't say nothing, but in terms of importance, they're like at the bottom. What's actually more important is creating these service pages for each location that you service. For example, mosquito control and Roulette, not only because this page could potentially show up for any mosquito control searches in the Roulette area, but also you're sending internal links up to this service location page, because what pops up the most when people type in things like pest control Roulette, Texas, just for an example? Obviously, your first thing is going to be your Google Map Pack, followed by, oh, looky there, Pest Control Roulette, Texas, a page specifically designated to Roulette, Texas. That is why it is important to have the link structure set from day one, and then not just that, keep publishing content underneath that page, which is, again, services that we can provide. It's not something where your website's going to be ranking overnight whatsoever. You guys know I show you guys pretty often our Google Search Console, which, if you don't know what Google Search Console is, it shows you your overall website rankings, essentially. You obviously want it set to US because that's the only traffic you really care about. From there, you'll click on Pages. This is what we keep track of the most. And I usually mostly look at a 28-day, 7-day, and most recent to see kind of how our most recent SEO efforts have been paying off. You can see over the last 28 days, we've gotten 33 clicks. You can see our Saxy, Texas page is starting to get us a couple of clicks now. It's getting up in the low 20s, so SEO efforts for Saxy are starting to pay off, it looks like. Garland has been a little stationary. To my fault, though, I haven't been publishing much under the Garland page. Frisco, we just recently, if you guys were actually in the live stream, I want to say this past Friday, I called myself out, essentially. I was like, it's insanity with the amount of impressions we're getting for this Frisco page that I'm not paying more attention to it, because there's a lot of potential to get this Frisco page ranking better. So literally just over the weekend, I created service pages for our Frisco page, and over the next week or two, I plan on pumping out some content for our Frisco, Texas. I mean, look at all these different search terms, that over 70 different search terms we're popping up for, which can be a bad thing in some cases, because obviously you don't want to show up for anything just random off the walls. But look at all these search terms. These are search terms we definitely want to be showing up for. The issue is we don't have a lot of what's called topical authority, which is where I'm referring to building, or not building, but creating more content around these subjects. So what's an example that I would do? I'm going to create blog articles about pest control services in Frisco, Texas. How much does pest control service cost in Frisco, Texas? Things of that nature that people search for. Things about rat control, raccoon, rat and rodent definitely seems to be a big thing right now. So that's something I'll probably pay attention to. So this is part of, if you're going to have me create the website, one, you can have me just simply create you a website. You handle all of this content creation, keyword research, all this type of stuff. You can do this yourself. I always stress that first and foremost. If you're going to, so my point is there's two components to the website side of things. There's, of course, the initial website creation, and then there is the ongoing continual maintenance and obviously hosting. You're going to have to pay continual hosting costs because people don't understand when it comes to websites, you have the actual theme of your website, right? So when you pull up preferredpestmanagement.org, this is what you would call the theme. This, what people see right here, this is our theme for the website, right? But then on the back end, there's what's called the host. It's like, I compare it to like a Wi-Fi router. It's kind of I wouldn't say a bad example, but what that host does is whenever somebody clicks on your website, the host sends your website to them, is the best way I can kind of describe that. But with that, it's a service of itself that these tech nerds, obviously sell to website creators. And, you can do all of this yourself. It can just be very technical. If you're not really tech savvy, it's not something you're necessarily going to want to do. My own brother, who's looking at starting a pest control company, and my cousin, who owns a pest control company, they're like, hey, how much are you going to charge for that? How much are you going to charge? And I'm like, man, I don't know yet, but I'll tell you what, it's not going to be, a cheap thing because it costs money, right? It costs me money at the end of the day, too. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated in terms of the pricing. The pricing will actually be on the website here within the next few days. I just wanted to at least let you guys know that this is something we're going to be doing. It is going to, and it'll be, like I said, if you're selecting these options, when it says which date works for you, that's because we'll do a free consultation, like a 15-minute consultation to figure out, what is your goals, what can you afford, obviously, too, because if you can't afford it, sometimes it's just, stuff gets expensive, right? The main thing is this is for pest control businesses, business owners who want to create a legitimate functioning website that has the potential to, rank well over time. Like I said, you can handle the content stuff on your own if you wish. That's another service that we can do for you as well. But that's the whole point of doing the consultation once you let us know how many pages you're going to need. And if you don't know, then just click I don't know, and then we can hop on a Zoom call or not Zoom call, Google Meets call, because it's free to do Google Meets, and we can figure out, what your goals are, how many pages you're going to need. Are you going to have us do content and stuff for you as well? There's a lot of moving parts, of course, that go into that. I will say this, at the bare minimum, in terms of just to give you an idea, say you have a pretty standard website, 5 to 20 pages or less, which I would think even in the most rural areas, you're going to have at least probably 10 to 20 of them. To get everything set up, you're probably going to be looking somewhere around $9.95 to get set up. And then if you're just having us host the website for you, that'll probably just cost, an ongoing fee of probably somewhere just around like $50. The hosting isn't really god-awfully expensive. I would have to double check on that for sure, but it'd probably be around $50 a month for hosting. And then, of course, in terms of ongoing page creation, content creation, that kind of thing, we could get into that specific pricing more once we figure out what your goals are, how much content do you want to produce on a monthly basis, because with SEO, it's an ongoing thing, of course. Like I said, we're just now starting to see some of our efforts slowly but surely start to pay off. Just to give you guys an idea of a page. Actually, Saxy is not even really a good page to take a look at because we just actually changed the domain of this, or not domain, but the subdomain. But you can see we had a massive drop and then immediately recovered. Another thing is Saxy is not a great example because it's a smaller suburb, but what do you see here? We're starting to slowly but surely have some higher peaks, getting within that page 1, top of page 2 side of things. So I'm trying to think off the top of my head, was there a better example? Maybe, was it Garland maybe? There was some page that was a great example of just showing you guys. You can see here we were going up, and we've kind of topped recently. Just goes to show if you stop producing that content, Google don't like that. It's kind of like YouTube, if you stop posting on YouTube, YouTube will start not really showing off your stuff. You can see we had a massive drop off here because we weren't posting anything. And now we've been in recovery mode, and now we're starting to get back up into the higher 20s. But looky there, we started dropping off again because we haven't posted an update under our Garland location in, a little while. So, like I said, that's why we were going to look at doing some Garland, some Frisco. It's a never-ending, the SEO journey, it is never-ending. So, yeah, let me see. I know we got some other questions. How often do you go live? I think I might have answered that. Just hit the bell because I'm sure I'll have a lot more questions. Yeah, no, most definitely. Do not hesitate to, ask any questions when you're in these live streams or anything like that. Apparently we had to click on the website today. Sounds like my last 3 to 4 weeks working on my own website, CRM, brain is so fried. Yes, I tell you what, I'll back away from the laptop sometimes, and I feel like I just have like laptop vision or something. Every night, even after working all day at Terminix. Yes, I feel you there. I feel you. So does that mean you have to post something on those pages? So not posting, I might have worded that wrong. So not posting on the page, as in like on the service location page, right? So let me give you an idea. Let me try to pull up Screaming Frog real quick. Where did it go? Where's Screaming Frog? Apparently I don't have it on here right now. Let's see. I want to give you a breakdown of what I mean. So, in terms of what I mean about posting like updates, I guess update really isn't the right word. Posting content around that service location. So I want to get my structure pulled up here for you guys. It might take a quick second for them to get everything set up. It's been a while since I've actually used this platform. Been a week or two. I think I would do, is it visualizations? Yeah. So once the crawl is complete, I'll show you guys kind of what I mean with that. So we're at 75%. Come on, hurry up. Somehow my dog just got in here. All right, so we'll do visualizations. I think I wanted to do directory tree graph, if I recall. Okay, so if you're wondering what all these red dots are, that is, we actually have redirects set up for these guys now. But, so for example, say you have Pest Control Saxy, Texas, right? And this is frustrating actually because it's not showing our links that we have going back to that right now. But anyways, my point is, so you'd have, of course, your location page, right? Pest Control Saxy, Texas. Then from there, you're going to link down to the service pages of that location page, right? And then from there, you're supporting content, which this is already supporting content right here. You're telling Google that, hey, these are the services that Pest Control Saxy, Texas relates to, ultimately. And then from there, it can break down even further. Either A, you can continue to just create blog articles and stuff that that link up to the service location page, or you can silo it down even further. Say you want to create a blog article about termite treatments in Saxe, Texas, right? How much does a termite treatment cost in Saxe, Texas? You could create a blog post and silo it to where that, you'd have another line running off over here that would link up to this page, which then links up to Pest Control Saxe, Texas as well. And the key here is whenever you're doing your what's called internal linking, is you want to set an internal link to that termite Saxe, Texas page, as well as to the Pest Control Saxe, Texas page. So wherever you want the silo to stop, or the internal link structure to stop, that is where you would stop doing the internal linking. So, we wouldn't link back up to our homepage. Some people will say to do that, no, I don't want your homepage is going to have no trouble ranking at the end of the day. I want to link up to the pages that I'm trying to get up the list, which are the service location pages. All these other pages, I could give a shit if they rank at all. A lot of them will rank for certain search terms, especially if you say you create 5 or 10 articles about termite treatment in Saxe. Guess what's probably going to start ranking a little bit decently? The termite treatment in Saxe page, right? But from there, you would pretty much stop after that silo. You could, of course, keep breaking this down all the way as far as you really want to go, I guess, but the farthest you need to go down essentially is homepage, service location page, location page, service location pages, and then your supporting content would be off in this area, which, like I said, is kind of frustrating because I know for a fact we have them linked, so I don't know why this isn't showing them currently. But yeah, it's a constant. Oh, you know what it is? It's because these are set up as redirects. So their map is not going to show it, but I do have the silo structure right. I believe that's the case. Because, yeah, if you see here, it says non-indexable redirected 301. That just means that the page, whenever that page shows up, it's redirecting them to a new, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a new domain, if that makes sense. Kind of hard to explain without showing you in person. I've done a video about how to set up redirects as well, so if you're confused by that, just take a look at that video about how to set up redirects in Rank Math is what I believe that video is called. It's like a short, I think like 7-minute video or something like that. But yeah, that's what I mean when it comes to this. These are like great examples of that. I'll even post like a screenshot in Discord at some point once this actually updates and we have some more articles. But pretty much you just have more pages out here, out in this space that would just continue linking up. So let's see. I don't want my pages to get loaded with you. Yeah, so no, you're not posting it, like I said, on your actual page. Like, you're not just gonna load that location page up just full of BS. For example, we'll pull up my website again. Let's pull up that Saxe page, which is a horrible example. That page is not looking too pretty at all right now, which makes it so it just goes to show that pretty sites don't always rank well. You can have the best looking site in the world, but if it's not optimized right, it's not going to show up. You can have some of the ugliest, worst websites out there, and they'll rank page 1, page 2. And little trick for y'all, or not trick, but little words of hope and wisdom from my experience. Don't get me wrong, obviously you want to be on page 1 of Google. You want to be at the top, right? You're going to get the most leads that way. But just to give you all some words of encouragement and hope, I get leads from my website pages all the time for pages that are ranking on page 2, page 3. I will say it cuts off at page 3. If you're not ranking on page 3 or better, good luck getting organic traffic to that page. But just to give you all some encouragement, because I know even when I was getting started, I was like, man, it's going to take like freaking 1 to 3 years to get my stuff ranking on page one. But the more that I continue to just see it go from the 40s to the 30s, once they go from 30s to 20s, that's where you really start seeing some leads coming in. But just to give you an idea, this is just like what a standard service location page, I say service location, a location page looks like for us. Pretty standard. It links to all of those service location pages. Don't have a skunk removal page created yet or a spider control treatment because that shit takes time. But the ones that we do have pages for, we have all of those linked internally, linking down to them. Of course, just some filler content as well, and then the footer, and then that's, pretty much it from that side of it. And then from there, like we said, of course, we have the service pages for each location. Again, with that, we're just kind of keyword stuffing, going over the service, maybe throw in, some customer testimonials, making sure to mention Saxy and most of the headings. That's another thing I can't stress enough. You see here, Saxy, get a quote. Saxy in the link, header, Saxy. Frequently asked questions. That's a FAQ, so the FAQ doesn't really matter. That's for schema markup more than anything. What else? Actually, I take that back. That's man, I'm glad I've seen that because I just learned this actually. So I need to, I got more work to do on my website. Shocker. When you're doing these FAQs, make them local. So I don't know if you guys noticed, I just on the stream the other day, we came across that website that looked god awful, to be completely blunt. Like I was saying, I apologize if anyone who actually on that website, sees me calling it awful, but it looks god awful. It's a plain Jane basic website, but guess what? They did their schema markup right, and they answered the question. They framed the questions and answered them to best optimize for the search engine. What do I mean by that? The exact search that we typed in was, how much does pest control cost in Frisco, Texas, right? And I'll be shocked if they don't show up here again. Looky there. They have single treatment. Google literally plugged this company at the top for that search phrase. And look at this website. It's pretty plain Jane. I mean, I said it's awful. That's probably being harsh on this website. This is an awful website. This is a pretty decent website, to be honest. But overall, pretty plain Jane, right? Like nothing crazy. There's not a lot of content on this page or anything. But guess what? They structured, this is their FAQ right here. So their FAQ is here. And they have another FAQ right here. So instead of like asking a question, they just labeled it pest control pricing in Frisco, Texas. They went over every single thing in terms of that specific question, answering that question. And then they even, they went further into it. So they optimized their FAQ for the search engine. They made it hyper local to Frisco, Texas. Not to mention, what makes it even better, how do I know all this, by the way? I'm glad you asked. Let's go ahead and pull it up. Oh, hold on. Let me do this real quick. SEO Quake. Let's take a look. Density. Page info. I can see their title right here. How much they literally titled the page around that search. Genius. And they don't even have like any links or anything. They have no backlinks. They have 3 backlinks, and they're all no follows. They have no backlinks. They've got a shit ton of internal links. They're linking well. This is a well optimized page right here. I don't know about their entire website because they're, like I said, I haven't even ever heard of them. So they must be a pretty small company overall, but they're definitely off to a good start in terms of, structuring everything. So, yeah, that brings me back around to I need to go in here and adjust this FAQ for, what is the best way to get rid of ants in Saxy? How to prevent ants from entering my home in Saxy. I might even go ahead and retitle this page, how much does ant control cost in Saxy? Sometimes you just gotta, when it comes to website optimization, you have what you think would be, what are people searching for the most, right? And you want to make it, again, look pretty and this and that. But sometimes you have to think like, you have to think like the person that's searching instead of thinking about the algorithm. We get so caught up thinking about the algorithm that we forget that the algorithm wants what's best for the searcher at the end of the day. So, yeah, it's a never-ending game, I tell you guys. Let's see. Sounds like a bunch of fluff that shouldn't be necessary, right? Google is such a pain, so much extra work. Exactly. Yeah. No. I mean, it sucks. I'm not going to lie to you. That's the part I don't like, because if I have to change or update something in those sections, that means I have to update 20 pages. Yep. Trust me, Kristen, I know exactly what you mean. It's good old Google, right? And hopefully too, our stream is doing okay. I see we got about 5 of you tuning in right now. I see apparently we had quite a few of you in here for a while. That was pretty cool to see a bunch of you guys in here. Of course, like I said, if you guys aren't, I see we had some of you guys ask to join the group apparently. Let's see. No response. Come on, Sean. Why aren't you going to do a response? I'll get back to you in a little bit then. If you're not already in our Facebook group or the Discord group chat, feel free to join those. Links for those should be in the description box below. I do not recall, actually, if I put the link to our new website for you guys in the description box or not. We, of course, have that up here for you guys if you want to check the website out or anything like that. If you're interested in anything, don't hesitate to fill out a form. Just because you don't feel like, you don't want to fill out a form just because, you may not know if you actually want to do the service or anything. It's not going to hurt my feelings if, we do a 15-minute consultation and you decide that, no, I can't afford it right now, or, I'm not wanting to do it, or whatever the case may be. It's not going to hurt my feelings or anything. I totally understand. It's not, like I said, most of you guys don't even need it. Most of you are very smart people that, it's a matter of more so, do you have the time to do, everything that goes into doing what needs to be done. You may have time to do the Google business, but you may not have time to, create a website. You may not have time to publish content for your website. Whatever the case may be, we're here to help you out. And then, of course, like we mentioned earlier, if you have any needs in terms of products, you can expect this page here to fill in over the coming days, weeks, and months ahead with different products that I use in the pest control industry, not just from a, like I said, equipment and treatment side of things, but also for, our business side of things in terms of softwares, all of that good fun stuff at the end of the day. But if we don't have any more questions or anything, that'll pretty much be it for tonight's stream. Like I said, the big news for today was that we created a website for you guys that are interested in having consulting, services, because that was the biggest thing that you guys seem to have wanted, was like consulting services and website building, services, building and hosting services. And then, of course, some of you all were wanting to, donate or whatever the case may be. Like I said, don't feel like you need to or anything. Just some of you guys were like, hey, how can we, give back to the channel? Because we can't do super chats and stuff like that because, of course, we're not monetized on YouTube yet. We are on track to be monetized here within the next month, I want to say. But then from there, you're waiting on Google to actually approve you. So, who knows if or when we'll ever be monetized or anything. But I do all this stuff for free for you all just because I wish someone had done real straight up stuff like this for not for me, but online before me. That way I could have followed, somebody in the pest control industry and essentially just do what they do that works for them. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this stream. Have a good evening there, my world. I appreciate you tuning in as always. And hopefully you guys have a great evening. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this stream. If you did, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. I appreciate you guys. I know we were coming up on 1,900 subscribers. It's crazy to see how many of you all continue to pile in and follow the channel and join our Facebook groups and Discord group and all that good stuff. It's just awesome to see. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next stream. Take it easy, everybody.